Hello and welcome to my craft room. My name is Deanna Gonzalez, and there's something that I think most of us tend to have trouble with, especially at the start. Adhesives. What are we going to use for adhesives? I mean, we can have beautiful embellishments, gorgeous things to work with, and if we don't use the quite right adhesives, things can go awry. When I first started crafting, I saw that the professionals would tell you, you just take, one of those little glue sticks that are, pretty much wax and, rub those on and put that down and now it's going to stay, right? And you'd cover your entire card with a beautiful piece of paper this way. Well, it would peel off really fast, didn't really stay for me, looked terrible. I got very discouraged. So then I started using Eileen's tacky glue. It was a lot cheaper, it would last forever, but I found that oftentimes when I'd cover a card, it would ripple eventually. Sometimes not even when it first dried, it would be over time. It would start having kind of waves and everything. So I was like, what am I going to do? This is terrible. And so I found that if I did double-sided tape in the center of the piece, and then just dab the glue on the edges, because it was impossible to get the tape on the absolute edges. Sometimes using double-sided tape, I was able to stick it on my fingers and get it just right. But I found double-sided tape was rather pricey in the long run versus my Xiron tape runner. Now this has the 40 feet of adhesive, but I can get it on Amazon oftentimes for $9, but usually Joann's craft room Joann.com, not craft room, thinking of my craft room, Joann.com oftentimes has sales where you can get 30 to 40% off things all the time. So you just want to keep checking back, but oftentimes they have the replacement for $6.49 and you're getting 40 feet of adhesive. Now, if you want to think in terms of quantity and, size, so it costs that much for a refill. For 40 inches long, or 40 feet long, which is the same length as this, for the Creatopia, which is 12 inches wide, you can get that for, $30 or $28 around there quite frequently. So, counting like for each inch, because this is, going to be about an inch, well, not even an inch, what is it, like quarter of an inch, I think. If you think about it in that terms, you're getting 24 of these lines for just double the price, retail price anyway. So that ends up being, kind of a way to go for me. But, so my absolute favorite thing to use, of course, if you watch my videos, you'll see, I love using the sticker machines. Now, if you just take it, you peel it, you slap it down, now you've got, it's adhesed. It's adhered, adhesed. It's adhered. It's not going to go anywhere. It's beautiful. It's great. I love doing that for entire card pieces as well as embellishments. However, I know that not everybody's going to invest in sticker machines. So what did I do at first? Something that I've done oftentimes is, as I say, I like to put the tape in the middle and then just glue the edges. Now I did want to mention, if you can be very careful with the glue at times, just using the cheapest Eileen's that you can get, a couple bucks and you get this huge container. Just using the wooden skewer, just putting little dots all over, I've been able to get this to lay flat. Can't really tell the difference between the double-sided tape and the glue on the edges. However, it takes a whole lot of time to do it that way, and just trying to make sure you get very small amounts of glue and then put it down before it dries. It can be a little tedious, but you can do that if you're on a very tight budget, which I've done in the past quite often. But I do like how fast it is just to roll some tape and just make sure I glue the edges. So let me show really quick just what I like to do with that. So I'm just going to be getting this, kind of like near the edges, not completely because obviously I'm going to be gluing. But, this way it's just going to lay flat. There's not going to be drying and ripple, nothing. Then I take my wooden skewer, and you can use a spaghetti stick too if you don't have a wooden skewer, any kind of like a hard pasta stick. Now I'm just going to try to get just a very small amount of glue here. I do not want it to be, oozing off the edges. I'm just going to slide this on a little bit I really want this to be, and as you can see, it starts to dry pretty quickly. I don't want this to be too much or too little, because if it's too little, it's not going to stay down, and our edges are going to kind of be like coming up. So we're just going to do this. We're just going to try to, and again, you can do this in the middle of the whole thing. It does take a little bit of time, but you know, it can be worth it if you're just really careful. You can get that to work. So I'm just going to come in here and get our little piece of paper down, and that looks about right. Making sure I don't push down too hard, because I want to make sure that I can still move it around if it's not quite where I want it to be. And now it's ready to be, you know, say decorated, right? So that's what I like to do just for basic cards. Again, if you don't know how to use a sticker machine, I do happen to have a video on it on my blog. If you go to my blog, there's a tools and techniques tab, and you'll be able to find it really easily there. For heavy glue needs, for instance, the roses, you know, doing a 3D rose or doing a rosette, I tend to want to use the liquid glass from Close to My Heart. Now, if you, depending on what company you use all the time, if you use Stampin' Up, you can use the Crystal Effects. If you use Close to My Heart, the liquid glass. And I'm sure other companies have something really similar. So whatever company you love, go for that. But I just put a little bit on the base here and then hold it. And it takes a while, not too long, but it'll dry on here. And then I put this here with liquid glass, and it's great. It's sturdy, it's wonderful. I've tried it with the hot glue gun, and I find that I actually have to hold it longer, believe it or not. It takes longer to dry, and it ends up not laying as flat as I would want it to. And I feel like the liquid glass is fantastic for that. I really love it. And and then you can do fun things with this as well, not just use it as an adhesive. You can make it look like a glaze. It dries really pretty, make things stand out. It's a really fun glue. But so total, my absolute favorite adhesives are those things. Now for puffing things up. Now I know that all the companies have their own puff adhesives and everything, but what I find is that the Scotch huge millimeter thingy, this is usually a lot bigger. I just use it to give you an idea. So right now I think on Amazon it's $29. It changes a little bit, a few dollars here and there, so you just want to, you know, keep checking back. I started buying this instead of using the expensive puff tape in 2005, 2004, 2005. I can't remember which one it was, but it was around that time. And I've only bought 3 total, and now it's 2014? My dates are terrible. Anyway, yeah, so I mean, that's, you know, 10 years and I've only bought 3 total. And this is my 3rd one. So this stuff lasts a long time. You know, I just use for cutting it. You can use Close to My Heart has the non-stick little snips, as well as I know Tim Holtz has some. Any kind of a non-stick scissor is great for this stuff. And then you can cut the exact size you need. So I love this for puffing things up. It ends up being a lot more affordable. So anyway, these are my favorite adhesives, and again, the sticker machine being my first preference if I can do that. Otherwise, this as a team works great. You know, double-sided tape, whatever company you like. I happen to like the Exiron Mega Runner because it's the first one that I used that had lots of little sticky dots. A lot of times when I do a full line, it would snap bad. It wouldn't work well. Stampin' Up works really well. I have played with that one. That one's great. But I find this to be more affordable in the long run because you get so much more sticky stuff. So anyway, yeah, I hope this helps. I know that sometimes someone's preference will not be your preference. I've definitely had that happen many times for me. See somebody say, oh yeah, I use this, I use it, and I don't like it, it doesn't work right, or things ooze, and then it's all shiny, and even when you're careful, it still becomes a problem. So anyway, if you don't like this idea, my feelings are not hurt. I completely understand. But if you are the way I was, where I was completely lost and trying to find something that would work, go ahead and give this a try. It's a very cheap way to see, you know, what you think, you know. But anyway, yeah, making sure you have something to make sure you're containing how much glue is coming out will help a lot as well. I used to just use the tip and stab it with needles because it would always get clogged, but you aren't going to be able to get as much control as you will with some sort of little tool to rub around. So I did want to mention that. Hopefully that helps. You know, please come and join me at deannascraftroom.com and craft with me and see what else we come up with together. It's a lot of fun to craft, isn't it? And I love getting new ideas and also just sharing with you things like this, things that I have, you know, out of tears, frustration, found a way that actually works for me, and I want to share it with you so that hopefully if you're at the same position where you're just like, I need a better adhesive, or if you know you've done this for a long time and whatever you're doing's working but it's not quite perfect for you, maybe you could give this a try, especially, you know, sticker machines, good tape runners, they can really help. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day, and I hope you're going to be able to craft. Goodbye.